How's it going, people? For today's video, we're going to check out the new Lost Isles update in LEGO Fortnite. Basically, I just want to take a look at everything that was mentioned in the patch notes, and like always, I'll leave a link to the patch notes in the description. But first, I wanted to go over a couple of things that weren't in the patch notes. First thing I want to point out is that if you want to level up your LEGO pass as quickly as possible, you want to make sure you do your dailies. You'll also want to do your weeklies. Those give a lot more studs. But not only do you want to do those, you also want to complete your sandbox dailies. And you see you get even more studs from here. So every day you'll just want to log in, complete your dailies, do your weeklies if you can, but you'll also want to make a sandbox world and complete those dailies as well. Also, apparently when it comes to the two new vehicles, the tank and the airship, it doesn't look like they're in the game yet, but Epic is aware of it, so I would assume they're going to fix it probably within the next couple of days. But as of right now, the two new vehicles aren't in the game. Is this a new villager? And here's another one of the new villagers. His name is Wade, and he needs to put a shirt on. Speaking of new villagers, here's a complete list of all of the new villagers that were added with the Lost Isles update. And not only did we get new villagers, but they also increased the villager cap to 45. So now you'll be able to have a total of 45 villagers. I believe it was 30 before. I also want to show the map size of the Lost Isles island. So here's what it looks like fully uncovered. When I first fast traveled here, I went to this purple symbol down here. My first banana village was located over here in the top, next to this 4. My second banana village was located directly to the west of that in the northwestern part in the beach biome. And I also want to compare how big this island is to our main island. So I'm just going to scroll up and show our main island. Obviously that's a lot bigger, but I also want to compare with our Star Wars island. So here's how big the Star Wars island is, and if we scroll back down, here's how big the Lost Isles island is. And I am going to go ahead and place them side by side so you can get a better idea of how big it is. So yeah, basically to find all the tomes, I just flew from floating island to floating island, opened up all the chests I could find. And it's like almost every time I opened up a chest up there, I got a tome. So they're not really that hard to get, and you should be able to get all of them within about 20 or 30 minutes. Shouldn't take you too long. I believe I also got a couple of tome by defeating the Peely Golem, and I believe I also got one from one of the Storm Wild Tomato villages, but most of the tomes I got from the floating islands. Apparently you're supposed to read the books. I think the main issue people are going to have when it comes to these runes is farming essence, but I'm going to show you a couple different ways on how you can farm essence. So yeah, one way to farm essence is by feeding Kombo, the big Kombo, a bunch of vines. And you'll be able to find the big Kombo at the lake near the center of the island. And you can tell we're getting a lot of essence every time it eats the vines. So that's one way you can farm essence. Another way to farm essence is by going to one of the spider dens. I found this one on the floating island, and it constantly spawns spiders over and over. And obviously you get essence every time you kill a spider, as well as silk. So this is probably the best way to farm silk, and it's also a really good way to farm essence. And here's what the spider spawner looks like. If you ever see one of these, you want to make sure you don't destroy it, because if you destroy it, the spiders will stop spawning. And I guess if you have an automatic farm, you could also use that for essence. But those are some of the best ways that I know of to get essence. And also, there's a cap on essence, by the way. That cap is 500, you can see in the bottom left. Oh, what? Peely, why are you staring at me while I'm flying? Oh, that is so creepy. Peely. We also got 3 new types of fish, and I was able to find all 3 of these fish in the Lost Isles island. This first one is an electric eel. I found him in the floating islands. I also found the stinkfish in the floating islands, and I was able to find the cuttlefish in the beach biome, as well as the plains, I believe. And when we put the cuttlefish in the food processor, we get fish fillet and blast cores. And the new electric eel will get you power cells, as well as fish fillet. And when we put the stinkfish in the food processor, we got stink glands and fish fillet. Another tip I wanted to point out, when it comes to the big trees and the jungle biome, those can't be destroyed. but you can build inside of them. So if you want to make like a tree house, you can on those big trees in the jungle. There's 3 different types of caves on the Lost Isles island. You have grottos, and the thing I wanted to point out with the grotto is that you can farm gold, emerald, redstone down there, but they also have fast travels down in some of the grottos, and that sort of helps you get back to the entrance a little bit faster. There's also a couple of caves that are called beast dens. In order to open these, you will have to deposit some resources into the shrine to open up the cave, and then once you open the cave, you'll have to fight a beast inside of it. In one of the beast dens, I had a peely golem. In the other one, I had a brute. I was able to get a tome out of the chest in the cave that had the peely golem though. So you got grottos, you got beast dens, and you also got the kombo cave, which I was able to find right next to the lake near the center of the island. There was no loot inside of this cave. It was just a big kombo sleeping, and you can't wake it up and you can't piss it off either. So I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of this cave was, but there's also a kombo cave as well. There's a couple other different types of golems. You also have a fishstick golem, which is the white one, and he'll drop a rift shard as well as marble. And there's also a tomato golem, and he'll drop obsidian as well as rift shards, and they're usually found near a statue. So those are the different types of golems. We also have the storm wild tomato enemies. They can heal themselves, and they also drop storm cores, and you can usually find them near the red buildings located on the Lost Isles island. And there's some pirates. We also got Peely from the Peely tribe. And I believe these guys are friendly. Alright, so the way that I found the Lost Isles was I just went to the nearest bus station and I went down to Lost Isles. It appeared for me automatically. Now once you get to Lost Isles, the first thing you're going to want to do is look for one of the 2 banana villages. I sort of got lucky with this first one. I kind of ran into Banana Anthony and he led me straight to the first village. But if you're struggling to find the banana villages, one thing you could do is while you're running or flying around the map, pull out your village square, and as soon as you get a notification that says you're too close to another camp, you want to start looking for the village in that area, because that means you're close to it. Doing this method, I was able to find the second village within about 3 or 4 minutes. So if you're struggling to find your villages, that's one thing you could do. But yeah, there's a total of 2 villages on this island, but you'll only be able to level them up to rank 5. So first, I'm going to go ahead and show all of the objectives we had for Nana's Hamlet. So here's everything you'll need to level up your banana village to level 2. We need a health charm, 3 grilled pineapples, and an architecture build. You'll get an additional slot for a new villager, and you'll also get a mystery villager. We already grilled our pineapples. We also built this building, and we added a bed for Benanthony. And I also added a bus station so we could get back to our original village. I went back to our original village and made the health charm there. And once I made the health charm, I came back here, and now we can upgrade it. So now that we have it to level 2, we're gonna have to obtain a spear, obtain a shield, and defeat 10 storm wild tomatoes. But first, let's go ahead and get the spear and the shield. And I know a really easy way to do that is to just go back to our original village. I've already unlocked both, and we're just gonna craft them there. Now, in order to make the spear, I did have to pick one up earlier from an enemy I found on the Lost Isles. Once I picked it up, I unlocked the recipe. In order to craft it at the crafting bench, you're gonna need 4 mahogany rods and 6 wolf claws. I was able to find mahogany in the jungle biome on Lost Isles, and you can get the rods from the lumber mill. So that's how I was able to get a throwing spear. What? I don't know what the hell that was. Alright, anyways, and you will have to craft that night shield. You can't just pick one up that you already made. You'll either have to craft it or find a new one around the map somewhere. Oh shoot, we're doing it again. Now for the storm wild tomatoes, you're going to want to look out for buildings like this. And you see there's one right here. So yeah, just look out for these red buildings on Lost Isles. And you should be able to find some storm wild tomatoes there. So yeah, just keep an eye out for these type of buildings, and you should be able to find all of your storm wild tomatoes that way. Oh, they heal. They actually eat and heal. That's wild. So it looks like we did kill all the ones that were here. I'm gonna go ahead and leave and come back, and see if they respawn, because I don't think we killed 10 of them. Oh, yep, they just respawned. And I'm pretty sure we killed 10 of them by now. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the Nana village. Looks like we found another tome. We also had to increase our village level for this one. So I went ahead and built another building. Also crafted a crafting bench and a lumber mill, and a couple of more beds. And once we did all those things, we were able to upgrade it to 3. When you upgrade it to 3, you'll be able to add an additional animal to the village. But yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade it. Now, in order to get it to level 4, we have to increase our village comfort level. We also have to craft a rune, build a rune forge, and collect 75 essence. To increase our village comfort level, I went ahead and built one more building. When it comes to essence, you can pretty much get those anywhere. You can get them from enemies, but you can also get them by destroying plants. So that's really easy to get. We also needed to build a rune forge, and we also had to use the rune forge. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do the spear for now since I already have that made. This is my first time doing it. See, roll runes. Okay, here we go. Alright, we got durability, luck, and health. We'll go ahead and go with luck for now, since this is a weapon. So that's sort of how the rune forge works, and when we come back here, we can upgrade it to level 4. But before we do that, once we upgrade it to 4, we'll get an additional villager that can live at this village. So that's the reward for it. Let's go ahead and do it. Alright, so for this next part, we have to collect a rift shard. We also have to defeat a peely golem and complete an architectural build, as well as increase our village comfort level. So what I did was I went ahead and built another one of these. I'm also going to start placing down a bunch of grills, and whether you want to do it this way or not is sort of up to you. The only reason I'm doing this is because I kind of want to complete these as quickly as possible. Now, to collect the rift shard and defeat a peely golem, what I did was I went to the floating islands. I deposited materials into this shrine, and when I did that, it opened up the beast den, which you can see right here. Sort of looks like a cave. Once I went in there, I found the peely golem. But yeah, after I defeated the peely golem, he dropped a rift shard, so I was able to complete both of those quests by just going to the floating islands. And now that we got everything, once we increase our level, we're going to get an additional animal for this village. And let's go ahead and increase it. Oh, wait, we're fully upgraded. I thought we were going to have to go all the way up to like 10. Okay, well, we're done leveling up our banana village. Now, the second banana village I found was called Plantain Pavilion, and it was located in the beach biome towards the northwest of the island. For the first objective, we had to finish any guided build. We also had to build 2 tables and gather 5 coconuts. I chose to do a beach house only because we were on a beach. I also built 2 tables, and I went back to my main village to get the coconuts because I already started farming coconuts there. And you will have to either collect them or get them from plants you planted yourself. So you won't be able to just like pick them up out of a chest. I don't believe that'll count. But if you started a farm on your main island, you can go back there and pick them up and it will count. When you level it up to 2, you'll get an additional villager as well as a mystery villager. So now that we got everything, we're going to go ahead and level it up to rank 2. For this one, we're going to have to recruit a villager, build 5 chairs, and gather 5 pineapples. For the pineapples, I just went back to my main village and picked some that I planted earlier. 5 chairs is really easy to build, and we actually have a villager here already, so I'm going to go ahead and recruit her, and I believe we get an additional villager for this one. Alright, so we just built all of our chairs, we already got our pineapples, and we already recruited monks. So let's go ahead and level it up to 3. Alright, so for this one, we're going to have to recruit another villager. We're also going to have to gather 10 bananas and build 1 juicer. Now with this villager, I went ahead and recruited Triggerfish. He's been walking with me for the last couple of hours, and since he's already here, we'll go ahead and recruit him. I went back to my main village to get the 10 bananas from my main farm, and I also got the materials needed to build a juicer. Anyways, we got everything we need. Let's go ahead and level it up. Now, in order to get our village to rank 5, we're gonna have to build 6 decorations, craft 5 tropical smoothies, and emote with peelies at least 3 times. So the emotes is pretty straightforward. We just do 3 different emotes with our peely villager, and when we complete this one, we got an additional villager and an additional animal. So for this one, I just went back to my farm, crafted the tropical smoothies there, and also placed down a bunch of flowers around my village square for the decorations. And once I did those things, I was able to level up our second Nana village to level 5. And here's all of the slots that we unlocked. We also got DJ Yonder, and he's labeled as a bard, which means if you place down a cantina stage, he'll play some music for you. And that's how I was able to find and level up both of my banana villages in the Lost Isles. Also, here's all of the rooms. If you want to unlock all of these, then just make sure you open up all the chests that are on the floating islands. It doesn't look like you can put runes on the flick-knock pistol or the musket, but we can put runes on the machete as well as the spear. We were able to get them by just opening chests. Again, you'll want to read those books to unlock these different runes, and once you get to collect essence in order to apply those runes to your weapons and tools. But we're not going to put them on weapons right now. I kind of just want to see how much damage we deal without the runes. Alright, next thing we're going to take a look at are the weapons. And first we're going to start off with the machete. Here's everything you'll need to craft it. And you mainly want to use this machete to chop down plants. When it comes to other creatures, we deal only 7 damage with our regular attack and 14 damage with our heavy attack. Negative 28 seconds? What? I'm traveling back in time, people. Bro, I'm gonna burn my face. Alright, next weapon we're gonna try out is the pirate musket. And here's all the materials you'll need to craft the epic version of it. And when it comes to the musket requires 2 hands, so you can't hold a shield with it, but you can aim down sights. 24 damage, not too bad. Reload is a little long. Looks like it can stun them for about a second. Oh, and we dealt 48 damage when we crit. It does knock you back a little bit. You see we're standing on the circle, and when we shoot, but it doesn't knock you back too far. The durability doesn't look too good though. As you see, we're almost a quarter of the way through, and we've only shot a bear and like a handful of skeletons. Next up we have the flint-knock pistol, and here's all the resources you'll need to craft it. Oh my goodness, the knockback on this. So this definitely has way more knockback. You see how far we're going? I want to say you can almost use this to travel around a little bit. Alright, we'll see how much damage we can deal with it. 21 damage, so not as much as the musket, and we deal 42 damage when we crit. Reload animation's pretty cool. I feel like you could use this pistol to get you out of situations where you're stuck. Like if you get stuck in between some rocks or whatever, you could use this pistol to get you out, because not only does it knock you back, it can also knock you up if you aim straight down. We also got a new throwing spear, and here's everything you'll need to craft it. Wow, you actually have to pick it up after every throw. Okay. So see, we deal... Oh, it actually takes a while to throw as well. There's a little animation. We deal 16 damage when we crit. Yep, 16 damage when we crit. And you actually have to pick it up after every throw. You can also melee with the spear. I feel like you'd be better off using a melee. Spear's not too bad when it comes to regular enemies though. See, we deal 8 damage when we use our melee. And we also got a new shield called the knockback shield. Here's everything you'll need to craft it. It can protect you from those swings, the new knockback shield, but it doesn't protect you against this. It also won't protect you against that, but it will protect you against that hit. It can protect against the charge though. So the knockback shield pretty much works like the regular shield when it comes to brutes. Oh, that's how you use the shield. Okay, so when it comes to this knockback shield, you actually have to run into the enemies while having it equipped, and it'll knock them back. Let's see if we can knock this guy back. Oh, kinda. It stunned him a little bit. Oh, it's actually really good for stunning brutes. Wow. You just gotta run into him with your shield up, and it'll stop his little attack animation too. We're dealing 3 damage with our knockback shield, every time we run into him. It's actually a really good shield when it comes to brutes. So the damage isn't good, but it's really good for stopping his attack animations and stunning him for a few seconds. But the durability doesn't last that long. You see, we're almost done with our first one. Now, I was able to unlock all of those weapons by just killing pirates, but I wasn't able to unlock the boom shield until I put dynamite in my inventory. So in order to unlock that, you will have to get some dynamite. Here's all of the resources you'll need to craft it. And you get red rocks by destroying red rocks that are on Lost Isles. Obviously you get bear pelts from bears. Alright, let's see what happens when he runs into it. Oh, it blew up and he took damage. Yep, he took more damage. He took 16 damage. And it looks like our dynamite went away. So you only get 1 dynamite per boom shield. But when it comes to defending, it pretty much works the same way regular shields do. So it's not going to protect against this. It'll also protect against the charge. But unfortunately, you only get 1 explosion per boom shield. And it actually doesn't last that long because we just crafted that one. So it only took a few hits. And although you can kill multiple enemies with just that 1 explosion, I still wouldn't recommend using it because you only get 1 explosion. So it's not really going to be good when it comes to creatures that have a lot of health, and the durability on it is actually really bad. So it's not really a good shield in my opinion. Alright, next thing I want to go over are the toys. And first we're going to start off with the stink jar. And you'll be able to make this at the crafting bench. Also, you can get stink glands by killing these scorpion creatures that are on Lost Isles. And let's just go ahead and throw it on this brute. See how much damage we deal. It says 0 damage. What? Yeah, it does 0 damage on the brute. That's wild. It will deal damage against the wolves though, just not the brute. You'll notice it looks very similar to the same spit that the brute throws. So maybe that's why it doesn't deal damage to him, because it's like one of his abilities. But yeah, you don't want to waste this on brutes. Instead, I think you just want to use them on regular enemies. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, it works on regular enemies, but not really good when it comes to brutes. And it'll also deal damage to you as well. That may change in the future, but for now it doesn't work on brutes. We also got 2 new swivels, which can be found in the toy section. This green one is called Controllable Swivel, and this blue one is called Free Spin Swivel. Now the way I was able to get it to work was you'll have to build like a floor piece on top of it, and we'll just use a thin floor for now. And after that you can either place down like a driver's seat, or you can also put down a cannon, which we'll go ahead and do since this is another new toy. And you can see everything required to build it. But yeah, the way you control the swivel is by sitting down in the chair, and you'll see the option on the bottom right that says swivel. So if you want to swing one way, you can press it that way, or you can hold it. And if you want to go the other way, you just press the other option, which is L1 on PlayStation. And as you can see, it doesn't move when we try to push it. It'll pretty much stay straight. Now when it comes to this one, let's go ahead and put another cannon on this one. This one doesn't have that option. When you sit down, you see, or it has the option, but it won't let you swivel if you press it. The only way you can move is if you actually move the piece it's attached to. Or if you put it on a vehicle, I suppose it could move automatically depending on where your vehicle is at and how it's facing. But that's sort of how it works on the ground. With the controllable one, you can control it while you're sitting. And with this one, it pretty much moves on its own, or you'll have to push it. When it comes to the actual cannon itself, as you see, it says load cannonballs. You get cannonballs at the crafting bench. They cost 2 granite and 1 blast powder. And you just want to select load cannonballs once you get some, and then you'll have to sit down and you can fire your cannonballs. Oh, the distance was kind of bad though. You have to aim up a little bit. There you go. There should also be a way we can get in there, right? Oh, yeah, you just go to the front of the cannonball, click get in. You can't control that swivel. But if we get in this one, even if there's cannonballs in there, you can still get in. You can swivel this one. If you're inside, let's go ahead and aim up a little bit and shoot ourselves. Oh, you can actually destroy items like that. Last thing I want to point out when it comes to the swivels is that when we press L1 we go left, we press R1 we go right, but you can actually invert that by changing the direction. All you have to do is just look at it and press change direction. Now when we sit down and press left, we should go right. Yep, now we're going right. So now it's inverted. And yeah, just wanted to point that out. So you can change the direction of your swivel pads. Obviously there's a lot more things we could do with that, but just wanted to show the basics on how they work. Next thing I want to do is go over the new food items, which you can see here. You'll be able to find bananas and coconuts on beaches on the Lost Isles island. You can find pineapples and clomberries in the plains. And you can find tomatoes in the jungles. And here's what each of those items look like in your inventory. Not only can you get these new food items, but you can also grill them for these food items. So if you go to the grill, all you have to do is put in a clomberry for the roasted clomberry. Same thing for pineapple. Same thing for the coconut, as well as the banana and the tomato. All you have to do is throw them on the grill, and you'll get the toasted and roasted versions of each. You can also get a tropical smoothie from coconuts by going to the juicer. And here's everything you'll need to make the tropical smoothie. It'll give you 7 hearts, and it temporarily increases your max stamina for 2 minutes. And it also fills up 5 of your hunger bars. There's also a Hawaiian pizza, which you get from pineapples, and you're able to make that on the oven. Here's everything you'll need to make it. This gives you 16 hearts, and it lowers your energy consumption for 2 minutes, and it'll fill up 20 hunger bars. And we also have banana pancakes, which can also be made at the oven. Here's everything you'll need to make it, and this gives you 8 hearts, and it temporarily increases your jump height for 1 minute. So if you play in a world that has stamina turned on, you may want to eat a Hawaiian pizza before you go running using your glider, or if you plan on swimming a large distance, you may want to use that Hawaiian pizza. And I actually want to see how high we jump with these banana cakes. So I'm going to go ahead and eat one real quick. This is how we normally jump, and this is how high we jump after we eat the banana pancakes. So it's almost like twice as high. And those are all of the new food items. Another thing I want to point out when it comes to food items is that you can now grill a lot of the old items like chill berries, roasted peppers, slap berries, raspberries, fish fillet, pumpkins, and slurp mushrooms. You can now roast those as well. But that's pretty much it when it comes to food. Oh, we found our first Klombo, people. And I am going to go ahead and feed him a Klomberry just to see what happens. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh, we just tamed him. Looks like that was one of our quests. So now we can ride him, we can feed him. And you can see all of the options on the bottom right, which you can do with Klombo. Looks like we can vacuum. Let's see what that does. You gotta hold circle. Let's see, can he run? Oh, he can run over enemies. He doesn't turn that well though. He turns kind of slow. If you want to turn quicker, you may have to slow down. To charge, you press down the L3. Makes him run a little bit faster. Let's see what launch does. Oh, okay. Oh, he can jump too. There's like a meter next to the Klombo. I think you'll have to feed him in order to keep that up. So I do want to see what happens when your Klombo runs out of energy, and it looks like it's about to run out soon. Oh, it'll kick you off. And I assume, let's see. Yep, we can't ride him no more. So we'll have to feed him more Klomberries. And that's what happens when the meter runs out. You can also dismount and hide controls. And that's all the different options we have when it comes to Klombo. Oh, we also got some green rocks here. These are called rough emeralds. It unlocked the epic throwing spear, as well as the cut emerald recipe. Oh, could this be it? Let's see. Oh, there's the mahogany. So that's the tree you need to look out for in the jungle environment if you want to get some mahogany. Oh.
You stupid bitch!
Oh, we fell off. Oh, wow. Well, I guess that's one way to kill him. You see we got some more gold right here. And again, I found these on the floating island. You can also get them from caves in the grotto. And that emerald's going to be used for things like the new throwing spear, the new flintlock pistol, as well as the new musket. Use the gold to make gold bars at the metal smelter. See, the gold is used for the rare machete, as well as the rare musket, the rare flintlock pistol, the rare spear. And you can also use it to craft the items that require gold, like this banner. You can also make this gold pirate skull. You can also make this golden pirate Jolly Roger, which you can see here. And you can also make this golden pirate wall compass. So those are some of the different items you can make with gold. And the red rock is going to be used for things like the boom shield, the pirate musket. So a lot of these new resources are going to be used for those items. But yeah, that sums up all the tips we have for this one. Before I go, I did want to give a huge shout out to everybody who's been using creator code A1, and just want to say thank you for your support. Anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.